Guide to Navigating Accessible Transportation with the NDIS. So a lot of these guides are written to try and educate both participants and providers and support workers about who holds responsibility for what. And when we get down to the accommodation guides and things like that, and the assisted technology guides, you'll get a feel for that. But essentially, access to transportation is vital for independence and community engagement. Everyone understands that. It's the same with people with individuals with disabilities or not. So we're going to explore the transport system here, and transportation encompasses a wide range of options from walking, cycling, cars, buses, trains and trams, all of which contribute to creating accessible and inclusive transportation networks. So the responsibilities of the transport system include, and are not limited to, but include transport infrastructure, so developing and maintaining all the roads, footpaths, train lines, waterways accessible for people with disabilities, access to public transport, ensuring that public transportation facilities, stations and vehicles are accessible, compliance with discrimination laws, that's a bit of a no-brainer, you can't discriminate, and travel fare concessions for people. So that's what the transport system has responsibility for. The responsibilities of the NDIS, whilst the transport system focuses on creating accessible infrastructure and facilities, the NDIS extends its support to the individual's travel needs and requirements. This includes, or may include, independent travel support. So maybe the NDIS will offer assistance in traveling independently through training. There's lots of training needs to happen with a lot of people around how many stops after this particular building that you see do you get off, and there's lots of different ways to train people to travel independently using assistive technology, which might be as simple as using your Google Maps or Apple Maps or something else that helps them independently travel. The NDIS might fund all that. They might fund vehicle modifications, so funding modifications for private vehicles owned by the individuals or their carers, and transport funding. They might provide financial support for the reasonable and necessary cost of private transportation, such as taxis or ride shares, when public transport isn't a feasible option due to disability-related difficulties. So, if you can catch a bus, you're going to be made to catch a bus. If there's no buses to catch, you might get some funding for some private transport. That's basically how it works, and you might get your vehicle modified. There's lots of different things that you can do and explore inside the NDIS around travel. So a real life example, meet Lisa. Lisa's my sister. This is not true. I just use all my family names when I write these things. Lisa aspires to drive her car to work. She possesses a driver's license and a new car, but she needs vehicle modifications to make it suitable for her needs. Lisa's local council ensures accessible parking spots to facilitate her parking experience. So the council makes sure that there's somewhere close that she can park. That's their responsibility. The NDIS might fund a driver assessment to determine the necessary vehicle modifications for Lisa. If the assessment deems her car as adaptable, the NDIS could potentially cover the cost of modifications. Additionally, they may pay for lessons to learn how to drive her modified car if funded and they meet the NDIS criteria. So conclusion is lots of convergence between the NDIS and the transport system. It's meant to create a more inclusive and accessible environment for individuals with disabilities. And that's a real life example, except for it's using my sister's name, Lisa.